Tonight, Lovable raises $400 M Series C HTML over WebSockets. Real-time spas with barely any JavaScript show HN. Programmable timer web app for gym workouts or stretching sessions. The White House is going to expand its AI policy. U.S. boosts drone surveillance as flesh-eating screwworms spread in Texas. Have physicists finally discovered glueballs? New evidence points to yes. Terabytes of credentials leaked in massive supply chain attack. Amazon gets out of the MMO game. ICE wants to give agents electrified gloves that shock people into compliance. And cats and dogs are missing meals after a popular smart feeder went down. We start with Lovable raises $400 M Series C. Lovable raises $400 M Series C today. We're announcing that Lovable has raised $400 million in Series C funding at a $13.3 billion valuation, led by Menlo Ventures, and co-led by the Scale Up Europe Fund, managed by EQT. The round also welcomes Balderton Capital and Carmignac from Europe, Cassec Ventures and LTS Growth from Latin America, Tencent and World Innovation Lab from Asia, and Regent from the United States, broadening the group of investors backing Lovable's global ambition. Returning investors include Excel, Antler, Capital G, DSD Global, Avantic Capital, HubSpot Ventures, and Salesforce Ventures. Lovable is building the software creation platform that gives those closest to a problem the power to solve it, a generational opportunity that spans billions of people all over the world. This investment moves Lovable closer to becoming the one place where people create new businesses and transform existing ones. What we've been working on for most people, turning an idea into software, once required so much capital, technical fluency, and time that many ideas never came to life. Lovable's first chapter was about changing that. Since Lovable's launch in November 2024, people have created more than 60 million HTML over WebSockets, real-time spas with barely any JavaScript. HTML over WebSockets, real-time spas with barely any JavaScript. Building a spa, single-page application is a complex puzzle. A JavaScript framework that draws the view, an API serving JSON, and two independent code bases forced to understand each other through contracts. It is an accepted, professionalized scenario, but being a standard does not make it the only way. I want to show you another approach, one that is not new but has gained traction over the years: HTML over WebSockets. The idea is this. Instead of sending JSON and assembling the HTML in the browser, the server sends the HTML already built, and the client just places it where it belongs. All the rendering logic stays in the backend, in a single language, with no need for contracts or an API. This pattern is known as hypermedia or HTML over the wire. What matters about how the HTML travels is that it determines the latency and the bidirectionality of the communication. There are three variants: over HTTP, request by request like HTMX or Unicorn; over SSE, opening a one-way, continuous channel from server to client like Datastar; over WebSockets, a permanent bidirectional channel like Phoenix LiveView or Django. Show HN, programmable timer web app for gym workouts or stretching sessions. A programmer showcases a new online timer for fitness routines. The tool is built with modern web technologies and offers customizability features. The White House is going to expand its AI policy. White House officials are almost certain to revise the Trump administration's new artificial intelligence guidelines and expand its oversight of AI models, according to people familiar with the matter. The White House announced this month that it had developed an AI framework, where the most powerful models created by U.S. labs would be tested for safety by the federal government before they could be released publicly. The administration has not made the framework public and reportedly has no plans to do so. The AI framework currently deals only with so-called closed models developed by the likes of Anthropic and OpenAI. But the framework is expected in the coming months to cover open models, too, a White House official tells Inner Loop. In short, as soon as open models reach the same frontier capabilities as Anthropic's Mythos-class models and OpenAI's GPT-5.6, they will be added to the framework and subject to pre-release testing, the White House official says. The move reflects the White House's evolving approach to oversight and regulation of the AI sector that has only been increasing in power over the last few months and sparked concerns that models could autonomously hack U.S. boosts drone surveillance as flesh-eating screwworms spread in Texas. Hundreds of U.S. government drones have switched from border surveillance to a different surveillance mission this summer, looking for signs of screwworm infestations in wild animals and livestock herds. The flesh-eating New World screwworm is the parasitic larva that emerges from eggs laid by flies in the open wounds or body openings of warm-blooded animals and humans, with untreated cases potentially leading to severe injury or death. Since the first screwworm cases were detected in South Texas in June, the U.S. Department of Agriculture and U.S. Customs and Border Protection have been conducting one of the most extensive animal health surveillance operations in the country. According to the USDA in social media posts on platforms like X and Facebook on August 10. The effort involves at least 200 drones owned by the Department of Homeland Security, which includes the Customs and Border Protection, CBP, agency. The USDA has described performing more than 1,000 drone flights and surveying more than 22,000 animals so far. However, it's unclear if any of the drone flights may have led to detections of animals infested by screwworms in the United States. The USDA dashboard showed 45 confirmed. Have physicists finally discovered glueballs? New evidence points to yes. Physicists with the Beijing spectrometer BESS experiment have uncovered convincing new evidence of the existence of so-called glueballs, an elusive composite particle made entirely of gluons predicted by quantum theory. The results appeared in a preprint posted to arXiv last month and were also presented last week at the International Conference on High Energy Physics, ICHEP. All the stuff we see around us is made up of quarks held together by gluons, carriers of the nuclear strong force, to form protons and neutrons, which comprise the core of every single atom. The Higgs boson, discovered in 2012 after decades of searching, was widely touted as the final missing piece of the standard model of particle physics. But there are still plenty of unanswered questions, including whether or not glueballs really exist. They should if the standard model is correct. They're a direct prediction of quantum chromodynamics, i.e., the theory of the strong nuclear force. There should even be several kinds of glueballs. As Matthew Francis wrote for Ars in 2015, just like the Higgs boson, glueballs are part of the reason that matter has mass. The Higgs boson is a manifestation of the Higgs. Terabytes of credentials leaked in massive supply chain attack. Terabytes worth of credentials, many belonging to the world's biggest and most sensitive organizations, have been exposed in a supply chain attack on LM, an open-source tool that streamlines AI-driven software development. Microsoft, Amazon, Cisco, Samsung, and Salesforce are only a handful of the entities whose access secrets were exposed. The revelation was posted on Tuesday and Wednesday by security firms CloudSEK and Hudson Rock. CloudSEK said it found cloud keys, repository tokens, SSH keys, Kubernetes secrets, package publishing credentials, environment variables, and AI provider keys that could allow attackers to gain access to more than 2,500 organizations. 40 minutes is all it takes. The credentials were extracted during a 40-minute window in March, while the victims used compromised versions of LM, downloaded from the package's official location in the Python package index repository. Hudson Rock said it made the discovery after analyzing a 195 TB file that it obtained. Neither firm identified the source of the information. The LM compromise was the result of a previous supply chain attack that infected the widely used vulnerability scanner Terabytes. Other software. Amazon gets out of the MMO game. Amazon is fully stepping back from MMOs. After saying last year that it would be halting a significant amount of its work on first-party AAA games, specifically around MMOs, Amazon will be handing over live operations of Throne and Liberty and Lost Ark in the West to other companies, according to announcements on Wednesday. Throne and Liberty will be taken over by First Spark Games and NC in Q4 2026. Lost Ark will be run by Smilegate starting in early 2027. Amazon gets out of the MMO game soon. Amazon won't be involved with Throne and Liberty and Lost Ark when Amazon announced the broader strategy shift in October. The developers of a third MMO, New World, Eternum, announced plans to stop offering new content updates. As of January, you can't buy that game anymore, and it will be taken offline on January 31st, 2027. Amazon's current gaming strategy focuses more on its Luna Cloud gaming service, party games you can play on a TV with your phone, including ones with AI-powered Snoop Dogg and Arnold Schwarzenegger characters, and games that tie into other franchises Amazon is working on, like James Bond and Tomb Raider. Amazon's gaming boss spelled it all out for me in a recent ICE wants to give agents electrified gloves that shock people into compliance. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, is aiming to spend up to $20 million on equipping officers and agents with specialized gloves that deliver painful electric shocks. These plans were outlined in a notice published by the Department of Homeland Security on Monday, with an unspecified quantity of the devices set to be delivered by March 2027. ICE wants to give agents electrified gloves that shock people into compliance. The agency is looking to spend up to $20 million on the devices. The electrified handwear outlined in the contract is the CTG5 glove, Generated Low Output Voltage Emitter, which Manufacturer Compliant Technologies refers to as a CD3, Conductive Distraction and De-escalation, device. Compliant Technologies describes it as a great, humane, low-optics de-escalation solution that is usually effective in bringing individuals into compliance in less than 3 seconds. The shock feature can be activated in a second using a switch located on the glove, which delivers a maximum voltage of up to 380 V upon skin contact, closer to a dog's shock collar than a taser device. Still, this distracts the subject from performing coordinated muscle movement, AC. Cats and dogs are missing meals after a popular smart feeder went down. A PetLibro outage is preventing its smart pet feeders and other devices from performing scheduled tasks, like dispensing food. The outage began on Tuesday, with users across Reddit reporting that their smart feeders, litter boxes, and water fountains have gone offline. Cats and dogs are missing meals after a popular smart feeder went down. PetLibro says it's working to resolve a service issue that's causing its smart feeders not to dispense food on schedule. Though PetLibro maintains that existing settings and schedules stored locally on your device will continue to operate as programmed, many users say that's not the case. Instead, some users report that PetLibro's RFID and granary food dispensers are missing scheduled feedings due to the outage, a major problem for pet owners currently away from home. Some users say they've had issues with PetLibro's DocStream smart fountains and Luma litter boxes as well, while the app also isn't working for some. We are currently experiencing a service issue affecting some PetLibro app functions, PetLibro said on Tuesday. Our team is actively restoring service, validating stability, and bringing functionality back in stages. In an update. That's all for this news briefing. Thanks for listening. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.